All right, we are live and going live in all the places thanks to beautiful technology. I am Kitty Shambliss of Loving Without Boundaries, and I am here with Coach B, a part of our team. First, I just want to say Happy New Year to everyone. If I'm not mistaken, I believe this is our first live of the year, and we are delighted to be here with you. And we hope that you had a wonderful holiday season. And we're here to help support your journey in living your most authentic life, whether you're dealing with navigating through jealousy or insecurity, or releasing guilt or shame, or also navigating through the pain of infidelity from the past. Know that we are here to help you live your best life if you are coloring outside of the lines of heteronormative monogamy in either an open relationship or a polyamorous or relationship anarchy, what have you, so that you feel unstoppable and you fall back in love with yourself. So I'm going to give the mic over to B in a moment. Just know that we are here to support you and your journey. And we think 2025 is going to be a beautiful year. And even if you may have different emotions that are coming up for you, whether it's fear or anxiety, know that we are here to support you on your journey. And with that, our topic today is looking at our emotions and seeing them as messengers. I'm going to go ahead and give the mic over to B to get us started off on this topic today.
Thank you, Kieran. Happy New Year and happy Tuesday to everyone. So, today's topic is perfectly in alignment with what you started us out with, Kitty. It's being unstoppable and falling in love with ourselves. So it's an innate human aim to avoid feeling pain and emotional discomfort or uncomfortable body sensations, and to move toward the good stuff like the joy, the pleasure, the happiness, the fulfillment. And also that's a very innate human desire to feel in control of our experience. And one way that we can do it and really be our best friends and our best cheerleaders and best supporters is if we learn to tap into the wisdom of our emotions, meaning their transformative potential. So once we start listening to their message, even if they're uncomfortable or painful, what we can uncover is loads and loads of clarity about our needs, our values, our limiting beliefs, certain things that we might need to express or shift in our lives, or maybe certain strategies that we need to adjust. For example, pay more attention to our self-care, or sign up for that yoga class, or go to the gym regularly. So the emotions have a beautiful innate wisdom. And just imagine that scenario when, instead of labeling emotions as bad and unwanted and just pushing them aside or suppressing them and fearing them, what would it feel like to feel confident that you have the tools and the skill set, especially navigating the intricacies of consensual non-monogamy, that you can not only manage your emotions powerfully, but you can tap into their message, and you can utilize this opportunity for increased well-being and increased connectedness, and find the right strategy for meeting your needs, and also get your relationships in alignment with your beautiful core values and core needs.
Thank you for that, B. I love talking to you, B, because I'm sure for a lot of people, I know to you, I have an accent. And of course, to me, you have an accent. But just listening to you talk, it just feels so soothing and like music to my ears, hearing your gorgeous and beautiful way that you put things, and just the tone of your voice. So thank you for that. I will just stack on there. I think this is a wonderful topic. I really appreciate you bringing it up, because so often when we think about scary emotions, whether that is the emotion of fear, for example, or jealousy, which can have a very visceral reaction in our body, or anxiety, which also can show up as like a panic attack. I mean, very physically manifesting, cortisol coursing through your veins so that you're not able to sleep. I mean, it can really take a toll on our health when we are having those type of emotions. And so we can then lean into suppressing them, or pretending they're not happening, or running away from them, or denying them, or not wanting to lean in and get curious. and so much about building our emotional intelligence muscle and learning how to self-soothe. I mean, a lot of us maybe did learn how to manage our emotions and self-soothe when we were young. Some of us didn't, or some of us maybe need to relearn some of those skills. So shifting the paradigm in a way of how you think about your emotions means everything. So can you make a subtle shift over towards your emotions as messengers, like the way your car and has its check engine light, and if say you forgot to put oil in your car, or you're running out of, there's a problem under the hood, your check engine light will go on to let you know, like, hey, there's a problem, you may want to look over here and take care of this problem. If you can lean into your emotions with that sense of curiosity and thinking of it more as they are gifts to you, giving you valuable information that you can learn from, that can mean everything. So I do really appreciate the topic, and just shifting the way that we're thinking about our emotions as wise teachers, and what can we learn from them, what are they looking to show us. So I deeply appreciate this topic, B, and I'll give the mic back over to you.
And to build on what you shared, Kitty, in addition to like individual pain and struggle and feeling powerless, and as we're not having control over our experience in our body or in our relationships or our life, what else can unfortunately this spiral into if we don't start tapping into the messages of our emotions, that we turn that internal sense of powerlessness, even unintentionally, outside into other people, into our relationships, either in a way that we might like unintentionally place like 100% responsibility on our partners to look after on our emotional well-being, that can put an immense strain on the relationship. Or maybe if we run on the belief that I'm wrong, that something's wrong with me, then taking 100% responsibility, like for the relationship dynamic, and both can be incredibly painful. And I also want to touch on something, Kiri, that you mentioned, like jealousy. And what has came up for me is, for example, resentment and anger. If we don't tap into understanding where they're coming from, then we very much run the risk of misplaced strategies. So we tend to use these umbrella terms, anger, resentment, jealousy, but where are they coming from? Because they can indicate there's something coming from the relationship dynamic. It can indicate that something still needs our attention inside of us, that needs healing. So really digging deep and getting to the root. For example, with resentment, it's possible that we need to look into our boundaries. Anger is a secondary emotion that can hide disappointment or sadness, and jealousy also can hide many, many things. And we keep saying here at Loving Without Boundaries, the transformation happens in the specifics, not the general. So once we find like the specific root causes that keep creating and fueling and keeping those emotions alive, then we really put our finger on what needs to be shifted, either in ourselves, on our relationships, or how we look at the world, to finally tap into our own well-being and leave that powerlessness and sense out of control, or maybe blaming or judgment behind, and feel that yes, I can be the source of my own abundance. And yes, I can be an overflowing cup, and then invite like beautiful, amazing people in my life who are in alignment with what I stand for and who I am.
Mm-hmm. That was so beautiful, B. Thank you for sharing all of that, including highlighting that it's important to look at what the specifics are beneath those emotions, because we can sometimes just be talking or thinking or feeling even at the surface without doing the hard work of really diving deeper into what's going on. And there's a metaphor I'd love to share. I was just on a coaching call sharing this, and I think it's worthy of repeating, which if you think of, I love how you talked about having a full cup, really operating from a full cup where we feel really resourced. Well, you can think of, if you think of our emotions as a cup, right? We'll start with a literal translation of, if I bump into you and I have hot coffee in my cup, well, whatever's in my cup is going to spill out, right? So if I have hot coffee and the coffee spills on you, I might hurt you with my hot coffee because that's what was filled up in my cup, right? Or if it's like nice cool water, and that spills on you, okay, well then cool, clean water, okay, it'll dry in a moment. That's not a big deal, right? You can think of your emotions as the same way. What is in your cup? Mostly, right? Because we're going to have all different sorts of emotions at any given time. But think of it, you mentioned anger and resentment. If anger and resentment or grievances are filled up in our cup and we bump into somebody, meaning we maybe have a conflict or we're interacting with them, or our values or our boundaries get bumped up against, what's going to spill out? Well, more anger and resentment might spill out and onto that other person. But the opposite is also true. So I loved how you were talking about leaning into abundance. So if you fill that cup with love, with gratitude, with hopefulness and optimism, and somebody bumps up against you or you bump into something, then it's more likely that that will spill out. And I love that metaphor because it's so um, real in terms of putting it into a tangible vision that you can see in your mind's eye to help illustrate some of these maybe tender or topics that might be difficult to really wrap your head around. So I love being able to share that with you. So and I thank you for everything that you shared so far, B, because it helped me to think of that metaphor that helped me when I was really navigating this on my own, to be able to share it with all of you. And I'll go ahead and give the mic back over to you, B.
Yeah, that is an absolutely brilliant metaphor, like what's in your cup and what is spilling over, like the good stuff, or something that can land the relationship or any type of interactions with others into more pain. Because even if we're not intentional, like wanting to spill over, our body language, our tone of voice, our energy still signals threat cues to other people, and in turn they feel defensive and they respond, and then we're on a loop of we're protecting ourselves and we're not connecting. So when we're protecting, we're not connecting. So that's very important to keep in mind, to fill our cup up with all sorts of wonderful and empowering emotions. And there's absolutely a way of doing that.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Yeah, and I'd love to start to just talk about what are some ways to navigate this. One of the ways is, as we've mentioned, but we'll underscore it here, is to lean in with curiosity, gentle, observing curiosity, instead of beating yourself up. Sometimes people may feel guilty for feeling jealousy in an open relationship. We hear that often. But instead, if you can lean in with gentle curiosity and noticing, that's so interesting that I noticed that I'm feeling this emotion when that happens. I'm curious about that, and lean in that way is a really powerful way to shift that. Another way is to learn how to understand that we can be asking disempowering questions that kind of could feed our fear or our anxiety, but also we can learn and practice asking better questions, more empowering questions. There's a great book called Change Your Questions, Change Your Life. It's absolutely really, really true, because you can start to reframe what's happening. There can always be two truths. You can look at a truth that feels disempowering or scary and lean into that, or you can also reframe the situation into, what's the gift here? What am I being called to learn? How can I show up with more self-responsibility? I love that you underscored that, B. And how can I show up with more compassion, curiosity, and kindness for the other persons in this dynamic, and even for myself. And then from there, you can also learn how to make decisions that are based more on your values, what you hold dear to your heart, instead of maybe coming from a place of fear or what you think you're supposed to be doing, which is not the best way to lean into that. And before I kind of talk more about what potentially finding somebody to help you navigate this would look like. Is there anything else you want to add there?
What I would like to add is just reiterating that transformation happens in the specific. It's such a wonderful and like kind of short mantra to keep in mind. So I would really encourage you all, if this is kind of new, like leaning into the wisdom of emotions. So what is even the wisdom of emotions? Just start like really small, like create space to be with your emotions a little bit, because we need that type of space to start this compassionate inquiry that Kitty talked about, and asking those empowering questions. And I just want to underscore that it is absolutely possible to turn those painful, tormenting emotions into learnings and gifts, and into transformation experience for yourself and for your relationships as well. And when it's going to be appropriate, I also put a few questions.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. So if anything that we're saying here is resonating with you, know that this is what we eat for breakfast. What we love to do is to help people live their best lives, most authentic lives, navigating through these tricky emotions and situations that can come up. So if that's you, if you're wanting some more assistance, you want to work with a professional, people that really care about your well-being, that can give you some more clarity around why these things may be coming up for you, and help you find a healthy pathway forward. It all starts with a call, a simple conversation. So I put a link up on the screen. You can go to lovingwithoutboundaries.com/apply. That link will simply take you to not only my website, but also to my calendar to book a time to speak with me. And there'll be a very brief form for you to fill out, just so I learn a little bit more about you and your specific situation. And then we'll simply meet at that time and have an honest conversation, see if we're a fit to work together once I get a better understanding of where you are. And if we are, we can talk about what that looks like. And if we're not a fit, that's totally okay. I will do the best I can to steer you in the best direction for you, given what I hear on that call. So if you are looking for more support, feel free to book that call. And also, there's plenty of resources on my website as well at lovingwithoutboundaries.com, whether that's my podcast or joining our free online community, which you'll find information there, or any of the free resources that we have there. So what would you like to add here before we sign off?
I brought 3 questions, as per usual, like self-reflective questions. So question number 1 is, what approach has helped you create space to explore your emotions so far? Like create that distance where you can sit with those emotions, or maybe just be the gentle observer of what is going on inside of you. Question number 2, is there an aspect of your self-care you might want to adjust when emotions arise? Going for a walk, having a hot bath, for example, dancing it out. These type of things can help change your state and create some space from emotions when they start being overwhelming. Question number 3, what new or continued action could further support you in connecting with the wisdom of your emotions? Is there maybe something on your mind that you've been thinking about exploring, buying a book, listening to a podcast, or maybe talking to Kitty, maybe any other approach that seems like something that you want to tap into to understand your emotional experience better. So not just manage, but also create transformation. So not simply that information, but create a transformation within yourself as well.
So beautiful. So good, B. Thank you so much for bringing this important topic to light. If you are joining us late, there will be a recording that you can watch in full later. But what I want to leave you is with a lot of hope and optimism that you can learn how to navigate through these different challenging emotions that do come up when we are doing our best to be courageous and live our most authentic lives. It's normal and natural, and you can build those skills. And also, if you are looking for more support, again, feel free to book a call with me if you want to see if working with a coach might be right for you, and we can talk about what that looks like. Also, if you want to find community and you're not a part of our private online community yet, you can find us on Facebook at Loving Without Boundaries, Healthy Open Relationships and Lifestyle Freedom. We offer a lot of educational and supportive materials there, and there's a lot of love and like-minded people so that you can see that you are not alone in wanting to step out into this arena of living your most authentic life and possibly healing from any past infidelity or trauma that maybe has happened. Okay. So with that, we'll leave it here. B, thank you so much. And I just want to say thank you for everyone who has tuned in or is watching the recording. Know that we are here for you. We deeply care about your well-being, and we're sending you our best. Take care.
Bye.